Okay, I'm going to do a quick run through of ES and I'll go over some other bits of the markets as well. Yesterday wasn't great, to be honest, for me. I had an idea, I stuck to that plan. The market messed around with me, but I managed to get some of the trades that I'm fairly happy with, but I still took a little bit of a loss on ES, unfortunately. I'll talk you through that in a sec. So as you can see, yesterday we were looking at this Asia low, we were looking at the liquidity grab below there, and then we were looking for the break of those highs. So once we got the break of those highs here, we were expecting a pullback and a potential long opportunity around the daily open. You can see that here. You can see that here. That was what we were looking for. We had those Asia lows taken. We were expecting a close above those highs and then a return to the daily open where we were looking for that trade higher. Unfortunately, we had some news stepping in and it was just a bit messy, to be honest. I don't know whether to blame the end of the month, the news or whatever, but in reality, it's only myself to blame, and you've always got to take accountability for your trades. So, it's the way it goes. I did have this other idea here, and you can see that during the day I mentioned that we have got this area here, which is a decent bit of resistance. So I was looking for a move into that, and then I was looking for a move back down into the original idea of the long. That did happen, but as it approached this news event here, you can see there was unemployment claims, there was PCE, that came in around the 130 mark, which is when that occurred. You can see that you got that bit of a wick, and then it just sort of blasted down upon that point, and then as New York opened, it just got really messy. I'll show you some more. My initial order, you can see here, look, it literally missed by a tick. That was really annoying. That would have been an easy take profit right there. That was set on daily open. So the idea was, it was technically okay because you got a really nice reaction, but as soon as it comes back down, I left that. I shouldn't have really left it there, but I had it right there, and I ended up getting stopped for that. It was only like $200, so it's like 0.2% of the account. It's not really a big problem. I did have the short earlier on, but I decided to run away from it because of the news event, and I had to go out of the house. It was just a messy day. I had to leave around 3 p.m, but no excuses. Fortunately though, I was able to catch a really nice long on Bitcoin, which I'm going to talk about in a sec. But yeah, it was just nasty. I expected this to be a bit cleaner because these are nice strong lows here. The strong lows because they're broken structure, like you can see. I was expecting these lows to hold. We had a nice mitigation chain on the way up, and we had some nice mitigations here, and we had a liquidity grab. So, it's a trade I take every day of the week, and the fact that I got stopped in that is just the nature of trading, the nature of strategies. So you learn from it. Unfortunately, I wasn't around my computer at the time to take this, otherwise I would have 100% taken this. As you can see, we tapped into this demand zone. That was the final demand zone I'd marked out here. It was below that key level I was talking about yesterday. You can see right there, that was the key level I was talking about. This was the strong low, and if we were to have closed candles below this level, then I was most definitely going to be considering higher time frame shorts, potentially sell some stocks or whatever, because for me that would look like the bearish structure has now set in, and we could be making that next move down, because as you can see from this view, we're very, very, very extended in this swing range. This is our 4-hour swing range, and it just, every pullback's just been eaten, and it could just keep going and going and going, really. But when it does turn, it may really unwind, because you've left some real thin sections of the chart there. So next, I'm thinking we reached that level I was talking about yesterday. Wouldn't expect too much from it. It did break some internal structures, but momentum is definitely on the upside right now. You can see that once we got that liquidity sweep there, we ran up on the day and then right into the close, and then since then we've just had a little bit of a choppy sideways Asia before jumping off daily open in London, and since then we're just moving up. So yep, this is definitely the first place to watch out. But to be honest, I'd expect that to go at some point, because as you can see, this is our strong low. This was the breaker structure, so this is a weak high. The anticipation was that we've dropped into discounted demand, so this would be the pullback finished and we would be making that next move up. It didn't happen. We came down, we took the liquidity. This is still held this strong low, and now we're making that next move up, and you can see we're breaking structure again. So any pullbacks really into that range around the daily open, potentially a sweep of Asia liquidity, that would be a real good potential long opportunity if you could get that. So let me just clean this up. Sorry. If we were to get a rejection from there, come down, maybe take Asia lows and then grab the daily open, and then we could carry on up. That would be quite nice. You know, you're quite thin here, happened into the close, so maybe even this demand zone here, that would be a bit nicer. Yeah, that's really all I can say on ES, to be honest. I covered most of it. I will be reviewing this week's trades, and I'll be completely going on a refresh chart from next week. But yeah, I'll talk a little bit now about Bitcoin. So I originally had a short from here, and that was my head short. I managed to get out of that around these lows where I had some take profits. I also had some spot buys here happening around the weekly open. Really happy with that. The thing with Bitcoin is this is sort of, it's a bit harder to see. Let me check it out on here. So on Bitcoin, let me just get rid of that. If you look at Bitcoin from this perspective, you've got these breaks here. You can see they're a bit tricky to see on Bitcoin because it is quite choppy, but you've got that break there, and then you've got the retrace here. So these become strong lows. So you get that retrace there into the 618. Perfect tap there. So you can see that price is making that next leg. So you've had the pullback into discount demand. You see it pretty much perfect there. No, you've got this gap anyway. You took the liquidity on the leg up. So now you're getting this next move up. So I'd fully anticipate these highs to go. You got a nice liquidity grab that moved price down, but you can see that it has held. So if we look more closely in, sorry, just step back a sec. So this looks like, you know, we're expecting this high to go. So we have taken the liquidity, and maybe, yeah, we were going to make another leg down into these lower regions, but this has just managed to hold. So, you know, it's still bullish. Like, it's really messy. It's hard to tell that well, but if you just look at it from that perspective, that you're still bullish until proven otherwise. Proven otherwise would be if you were to start breaking these lows here and holding below those lows, and even as low as here. It's a bit trickier to see, but the idea on Bitcoin was we've had the move down. We're expecting the next high up. So I was hedge short because we had that liquidity grab here. I was hedge short around those regions, like I just said. But we had weekly lows. We had lows that were defended. We had some breaks of structure here, as you can see. You can see that demand had stepped into the market, was very much in control at this point, and then you just got some nice liquidity grabs down below before making that next move up. So you've broken highs again, as you can see. So the anticipation now for Bitcoin is to just keep making that move up. If we do get a pullback, you've got some nice zones to look at. Let's go over to this chart. You know, you've got the monthly open, you've got daily open there, you've got yesterday's previous day point of control. You had that liquidity grab there before you made that run, so it is nice. I will have been stopped on my hedge short there at break even. So yeah, I just expect new highs on Bitcoin, new yearly highs, and that's about the size of it, to be honest. I had a nice spot fill down there. Managed to get the long as well. I did get a, I'll show you this because it's annoying, but I did have a short yesterday from this. I didn't like it, but we had a look at the order flow, and the order flow was pointing towards down because we had nice CVD bearish divergences. Right there, that's where I was getting short in that range here. I had a nice little low time frame breaker structure, and this was where I was short. Got the move down, stopped paying attention, and then it came up, took the liquidity, took my really shallow stop out. I was calling it like a cheap trade. Like, I was basically saying it was such a cheap trade because I'm wary of higher. Like, I'm much more aware of Bitcoin's higher time frame price actions. So like me shorting it here, like look what like the risk to reward. The risk to reward for me is not that great. You know, I'm getting like maybe a 1% move, if that. It's just not that great. I'm in this short up here because I've seen a clear liquidity grab. I've seen some breaks of structure here, as you can see. 15 minute breaks of structure. Where's that gone? Where's it gone? Yeah, you've had breaks of structure here. You've had a nice move down. You've had the retrace into the 618. This is where I was loading up my head short. This for me was a clear and obvious short because you had a higher time frame context. But for this, I really wasn't happy with it because you've had that initial breaker structure, this internal breaker structure here. You've broken out of this little range. The bulls have showed their hand, so I wasn't happy with that short. So I kept the stop really tight. In that, I got a liquidity grab, taking my small. I think it was like $35 or something like that. You know, it's nothing, but eventually you come down and you take out those lows, which I was looking for. Loaded some bags around weekly open. And then it was just a case of continuing what I expect to happen, which is Bitcoin to move up. For Bitcoin to start moving down, really, you need to be looking at these lows to be taken and held. And then you're starting to come down into these regions around the Monday low. And if Monday low is taken, you're coming into this value area high. Sorry, if you're coming into this box here, then, you know, it's not looking great structurally. Because you've got this type of movement here, you're expecting that move up. So if it starts to come down and break below these levels, then it just looks a lot more bearish, and we could be seeing a bit more of a pullback. It's similar across the board with ES, NQ and all that. So how long have I been talking? 12 minutes. Yeah, I'll leave it there. I'll maybe take a little look at NQ, see what that's up to. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So what do we notice first of all? NQ. Wow, that's really interesting actually. I'm glad I checked that. Look, we've got a break of structure here. Okay. That's really interesting. Yeah, you've come down and mitigated this zone here. You've taken out liquidity. But you're certainly breaking some structure. This was your last low that took out the previous high. If you consider that wick, I suppose. I'm going to do a bit more analysis on this. It's making a very similar move today, but it didn't get as much of a rebound. Yes. Let me check it on here. Yeah, you dropped into this. Oh, look at that. Wow. See, these levels work so well. That's interesting. Okay, I'm going to do a bit more analysis on this. That's interesting to me, that we've actually closed and broken below there, and that happened in New York. Of course, it could have been news driven, so it may have a little less validity. Yeah, I'm going to need some time to observe this. But yeah, I hope that was useful. Hope you learned something. You know, if you've got a strategy and you're getting the setups you trade from, don't be afraid to take a loss with them. It just happens. It's part of trading. You know, always consider the higher time frame context, weigh up the risk to reward, and just be relaxed, man. Just chill. You know, there's always another trade. Don't be getting too much FOMO because you missed one opportunity, and you know, if life gets in the way and you have to go do something, just go and do it. You know what I mean? The charts aren't going anywhere, so yeah, I'll leave you there. Have a great weekend, guys. I'll be back on Monday with a fresh update. I'll probably do a bit more of a wide market update again, and thanks for listening.